Hello and welcome to today's video. Today is my first update for my chopping block series that I started last month for my channel, and today we have to go through the items that I pulled out last month to test out to see what items I feel like I can pan. Are they worth keeping? And then I have a couple more to introduce to do this next month. So I'll start with one that kind of surprised me. I kind of put this in last month thinking I'm pretty sure I remember this being too light for me, and I'm pretty sure that'll be a good excuse to like declutter it. And yet I'm surprised to say that it definitely is too light for me as a foundation, the shade 6.5 from Revolution Conceal and Define foundation line. But at the same time, I used it a good bit as a concealer because I do like for my concealers to be a little bit lighter than my like foundation, and I'm wearing it today underneath a different foundation, and I quite like it for that. So it didn't work for me as a foundation, but I really do, I mean, it would take forever, but I go through concealer pretty quickly. So I kind of do want to challenge myself and keep this and try to like pan it in the future. So this one survived the chopping block, surprisingly. And another one that also is surprising me and surviving this round of chopping block is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. In my brain, I thought this used to look so dry and powdery on my face, but I don't know if it's just me misremembering the product, or maybe my skin's changed, or the way I do my makeup has changed, but I quite like this. It's really, really nice. Again, it's very subtle highlight, but I found it to be very beautiful. I'm actually not wearing it today. I should have worn it today because I think I'm wearing pretty much like a lot of the other items I'm wearing today. But yeah, I'm gonna hold on to this. I thought it was really beautiful. Granted, it's not the most unique shade. I definitely probably could dupe it out on some level in my collection, but I really found myself quite liking it this past month, so that's staying. One that is not staying, my Wet n Wild blush in the shade Precious Petals? No, Pearlescent Pink. And yeah, this is what it looks like. I've used it a ton before. It's been in previous projects, and it's a beautiful shade. I'm so annoyed with the packaging, and I keep digging when I go to close it. I keep digging the product in, or digging into the product at the top, and it's definitely not unique in my collection. I have a million peachy pink kind of blushes, even with kind of like a satin sheen to them, like this does. It has like a little bit of a golden like sheen to it. And again, yeah, I'm actually not wearing it today. I wore and by the way, my goal was to wear things at least 5 times. I did that with everything except for one item, which I'll show you. I wore them actually more than 5 times, most items more than 5 times. So this one I'm going to declutter for the fact that the packaging is broken, and also like, again, I just have so many better blushes in my collection that I would rather be reaching for, so this one is going. Okay, next up, let's talk about the 2 lipsticks. I kind of expected to declutter this NYX High Voltage lipstick, but I actually really liked it. It's a mauve-y kind of tone. For some reason, again, I'm probably misremembering that it has a very white base, and it definitely does not. Like, it was a beautiful shade. It was so easy. I really, like, this is my favorite kind of lipstick formula, that like really creamy, almost glossy look. And so I am surprising myself again. I'm gonna keep this one. And then this one here from Revlon, this is the shade HD Sand. It was Desert that I've used up in the past. Desert was a better shade for me, for sure. It was a little darker. This one is not my favorite shade. It's a little too light. I mean, like, it's almost the same exact shade, maybe a little bit warmer than my natural like lip color, but at the same time, like, part of me is having trouble letting go, which I think I got a lot of comments saying like a lot of you also identify with me, and that I'm not the best at letting things go. That's why this series is such a challenge for me, because I'm exactly the same, not very good at letting things go. And even though this shade isn't like my favorite on me, I can't seem to let it go yet. So I might put like a little maybe category and like circle back to it closer to the end of the year or the end of this series. But for now, I'm gonna hold on to it strictly because it's my favorite formula, even if it's not my favorite shade, if that makes sense. All right, next up, I have my L'Oreal Infallible Shadow in the shade Amber Rush. I am wearing this today on my eyes. I really also expected to be able to let go of this, and it is definitely not a super unique color, but I just find that it's so freaking easy to wear, and it's flattering. And you know, on like super quick travel trips, when I'm like not gonna do a ton of makeup, this would be the one item that I would pack, because it's literally like that one and done shade. Put it on, fluff it into your crease, and you're done. Again, even though I know that it's not the most unique thing ever to have like a rose gold, I really like it and I'm not quite ready to let it go. Also, I'm not gonna lie, it's a very sentimental item for me, so I'm gonna hold on to it for that reason as well. And the last product from last month was my Paolo Lipstick from NYX. This is one, again, I don't really love. Like, it's not a horrible formula, it's pretty comfortable if it in the land of liquid lipsticks, but I don't really love the color that much anymore. I am gonna, however, allow myself to, I'm gonna declutter it. This is technically a decluttered item that I'm going to do. Also, I just realized my Febreze bottle is right here. I'm a mess. Please try to ignore that. But I'm gonna allow myself to hold on to this through the spring, just because I think if I am going to pull for a color like this, it will be this spring. And that's only, you know, we only have a couple more months before spring's over, or gets here and then is over and dies out quickly. So I'm gonna hold on to this until the end of spring, and then I'm gonna let it go. It's old. It's probably one of the oldest liquid lipsticks in my collection, and I'm gonna give it its last hurrah. I may end up wearing it once. This is the one product that I didn't wear 5 times. I'm wearing it for the 2nd time today. The other time I wore it was just like really quick. I put it on one night before I washed my makeup off, because I'm not wearing lipstick that often. So I'm gonna give myself a couple months with it, and then it's gonna go. And then now I'm going to introduce the next items that I'm going to work on for the next month. Again, my goal is to kind of wear them at least 5 times, hopefully more, and just kind of see if they're worth keeping around. Now, I'll start with the lip products, I guess. I have 2 lip products technically. So last month I was working on 3 lip products in this series, and I found that I'm also panning a lip product in my Partners in Cream project pan, and it was a little bit much to try to like wear these as much as I wanted to and pan those. So this month I'm only going to do 2. I have 1 nude and 1 colorful. I think that's a little bit more manageable. The nude option is from Maybelline in the color Jolt Stripped Down, and again, I remember liking the shade quite a bit, but I don't remember being crazy about the formula, so I'm thinking that this is a perfect excuse to kind of figure out if it's something that I want to keep. It actually looks kind of similar to the NYX shade. Let me go ahead and swatch them side by side. Yeah, not quite the same. The NYX shade is a little bit lighter, but I think it will be worth trying to figure out if this formula works for me. And then the other shade I had here is from Bite Beauty in the shade Quince, and it's a bright pink color. I like the brightness of it, but I'm not quite sure I love the finish of it anymore. I think that I used to like that kind of finish on me, but I need to kind of give it a test and see if I'm still crazy about that kind of formula. It is kind of a bright shade in that, and this formula being so creamy, it kind of does move around, and I'm not sure if that's going to work for me. We'll see. But I'm gonna test that out. Now I do have technically 1 more lip product, but I don't actually use this product on my lips. This is from Almay in the shade Pink Medium, and it's a super sheer lipstick formula, kind of like the ones I tested last month. That's the shade of it right there. I had tried this in the past a long time ago as a blush, and I think that's why I held on to it, but I have no clue if I still want to do that. So I figured this next month, as we're approaching spring, actually this month I think spring hits, so I'm hoping that as we move into spring, that this will be a shade that gives me a good chance to test to see if I like it as a blush still. If I do, I'll keep it. If not, I will let it go. I know that it's more cool tone, and I don't have a ton of cool tone blushes in my collection, so I'm thinking that's why I kept it in the past. So we'll see. That's definitely a good one to go on the chopping block. And then I have 2 face products here. One is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in the shade Reserve Your Cabana. I've used this maybe one time. I think it markets itself as a bronzer. It's definitely, like, as you can tell, not a bronzer. And I can't remember if people use this as a highlight typically or as a finishing powder. I'm gonna try it both ways, see if I like it. I don't remember. I remember, like, the reason why I picked this up a long time ago was like seeing people talk about it in the community as like maybe it was a finishing powder, I think. So I'm gonna try to figure out if that's the way I like it. I tend to prefer loose powders over pressed powders. So if it's more of a pressed powder, it's really gotta kind of knock my socks off in order for me to want to keep it. So we'll see. It's a big old huge pan, and it looks pretty, but so fingers crossed it goes well. The other one here is from Milani, the Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. Again, I'm not quite sure if the shade is like good for me anymore. I used to be a lot more tan. And so we'll see if this shade wise works for me. I do also remember it being pretty like not quite full coverage, but closer to full coverage, and it may not be like my preference anymore. I'm wearing like the ColourPop tinted moisturizer today, and I quite like that. At least in person, I like that amount of coverage on my face. But we'll see if this is maybe good, at least for filming. We'll see. This is also pretty freaking old, so I haven't even tested to see if this is still any good, but that'll be something that we test out this month for this like chopping block series. And that's 5 items moving into next month. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, I mean, my goal is really to just kind of reacquaint myself with my products, since I have been since for the past 3 years in Sweden, a lot of them were in storage, and so it's nice to kind of rotate through things. I don't know if it's necessarily the most successful chopping block experience I've ever had, but you know, I feel good about it. And I'm very impressed with my ability to wear makeup so far. I wore makeup quite a bit this past month, so it feels nice to kind of feel normal again. So I'm enjoying it. I hope you are too. Make sure you say hello in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.